Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Dionne Roberts. Today I'm joined with Simone La Abbé, and she's one of our guests on the Rest and Digest retreat. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good brunch, whenever you're watching this.
Thank you. Yeah, it's around 11 my time here in Canada.
And which part of Canada are you from?
I live near Toronto, so yeah, Toronto's the biggest city in Canada. So yeah, right on Lake Ontario.
Awesome. Well, we are absolutely bowled over to have you. You are so sweet, so compassionate. Your work and your personality are just synonymous. They just reflect one another. And that's one of the things I just love about you and working with you. So thank you very much for coming.
Yeah,
I'd
thanks.
like to just dive into your work in reference to what it is that you do and how you help people.
Yeah, so my business is called Feel Fully, and I use something called the Feel Fully process to take people from a state of fear into a more of a state of ease and empowerment. Um, and yeah, I think a lot of the work I do is around resilience, and that's why I'm going to be talking a bit about resilience at Dionne's retreat. And we're calling my session Reframing Resilience
I love.
yeah, because yeah, we're kind of shifting the idea of what resilience is. Um, yeah, so what I do with Feel Fully is, a lot of it is creating a safe space for people. I work with a lot of women who are experiencing miscarriage, who are on a long and difficult fertility journey. And so much of it is creating this space where you feel safe and where you feel like it's okay to be yourself and to feel the way that you're feeling. Um, we have so many maybe expectations put on us in terms of what we think we should feel.
Yeah.
And, either like, oh, I shouldn't be laughing right now because, or I shouldn't be angry right now. It's not okay to be angry right now. And so having that safe space to feel your emotions fully, feel whatever you're going through so that you can process them, so that you can learn from them, so that you can move through them instead of trying to get over them. Um, and yeah, this creates people who know themselves better and who who are more resilient, who are more empowered, and who live with a lot more ease because there isn't this like fear or needing to be a certain way.
Yeah. I totally resonate with that. I mean, the actual word resilience, we often see it as being it's a harsh word. And you talk about the theory of the carrot and the stick, and we see resilience as using the stick with it. You know, it's like beating somebody into submission, and therefore they will become stronger, and that will build resistance. And that's why I love the title that you've come up with, reframing it, because it allows one to sort of honor um, the inside of ourselves, the inside of our body and mind, and seeing those qualities of being character building and an essence of strength.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I like that you mentioned that because, like, yeah, when you get comfortable with your own emotions, you can see them as resources. right? You can see your fear as a resource that is helping you instead of hindering you. You can see your anger as a resource as well, and your sadness, and then you feel like supported, like I've got all of these tools and resources now, and so I can use these in whatever situation comes up. And it's, you know um yeah, that it's like, it's not only that the situations, the difficult situations that we were in, or the traumas that we experienced, now we'll know better the next time. It's that, like, there's so much inner learning that happens during trauma, and during even just like not traumatic but difficult experiences, yeah, where you learn about yourself, and you learn about what you're capable of, and um and that, not only when you get into a new difficult situation, but before that you're like, I've got it. It doesn't matter what happens next, because I know that I'm going to be okay. And I feel like that, feeling that way, is feeling resilient, because you're like, I've got all the tools and resources that I need. I know that I can handle anything. And therefore, I don't need to live in like fear or anxiety of what's going to happen in the future anymore.
And that point of getting to that point of knowing that I'm going to be okay, that comes from actually having gone through something previously and come out at the other end. So it's only the experience itself teaches one that one feels strong enough in that knowing of faith that they're going to be okay, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think, getting to the other side of a really difficult experience is very powerful to build resilience. But I think that you can build resilience like without those traumatic experiences as well, just by doing kind of the inner work of delving inwards, and being like, what's going on with me? What do I actually fear? What am I actually like feeling shame about? And if I can if I can get over, not get over, but you know what I mean, like let
Self-reflect.
go of let go of these inner turmoils.
Mm.
That's kind of like,
The ones
um
we like
then the
innately have.
outer thing comes.
Like the
Hmm.
ones that we innately have. So you're talking
Yeah.
about like checking in with oneself, or being on the journey, or just being mindful of the onions and the layers of one's character and personality, and that checking in being daily or monthly or yearly, that sort of development.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. That you don't, yeah, that you don't actually need to go through something really traumatic to have the experience of building yourself up into someone who's like really resilient and who can handle anything.
Yeah, emotionally strong,
Yeah.
like emotional maturity.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell us a little bit about your process of how you actually work with people to build this resilience.
Yeah, so the Feel Fully process is 4 steps. And so the acronym is FEEL. So the first one is find a safe space, which I kind of already talked about, that you you can't delve into this kind of emotional healing stuff if you don't feel safe, right?
Yeah.
Like, you need to be with someone that you feel safe around, maybe like, like a guide or a coach like me or Dionne. Um, you need to feel safe in your physical environment. You need to feel safe being with yourself, in with your own stuff. The second one is experience without resistance. So I also touched on that briefly, but you know we do often have this like resistance to what's going on or how we're feeling or resistance to other people. So it might be like, I wish this weren't happening right now, or I wish I didn't feel this way right now, or why does it need to be this way? Um, I wish this hadn't happened. And to experience without resistance means to completely accept the present as it is. And in order to accept the present moment, you don't need to approve of it. Like, it doesn't need to be like, I'm okay with it. Like, I'm great with it. This is perfect. You don't need to make it into a positive.
Yeah,
So for me, I really like that phrase, acceptance isn't approval. Um, that, yeah, that in order to accept the present moment, you just need to not be in resistance to it, whatever it is.
that is beautiful. I've never, ever, ever heard that phrase before. It kind
Mhm.
of reminds me of forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so I want to remember that. Say it again. Resistance doesn't mean approval.
Um, Acceptance doesn't mean approval. Yeah. And it really, really helped me, like that phrase when I was like going through burnout in my last job as an elementary school teacher, that it was like I was just always in this, I wish things weren't this way. I wish things weren't this way kind of thing. And as soon as someone said that phrase to me, I was like, oh, I don't need to like it in order to accept it. And when you accept it and you stop fighting it, everything gets so much easier. So that's the second step of the feel fully process.
Wow, wow, that in itself is golden. I don't think you need to give away too much. To
Okay,
think
well, maybe
about the
I will
about
share the second two steps of the feel fully process
in the actual retreat.
in the actual retreat.
I want to when you were talking about the resistance, it reminded me, or what came up for me is that it's like what holds that resistance in place and makes it so strong and powerfully present. And it's the element of fear, the emotion of fear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is why the first step is all about creating safety.
Exactly, exactly. And when I was kind of, molding this process, I originally had the, acceptance, no resistance as the first step. And then I realized, no, we actually we need a step before that. You need to feel safe.
Yeah. Because the other thing that came up when you're talking about that element, that step is what happens if you're living in an environment with other people that isn't safe? How can
Exactly.
you actually do this work or grow yourself, grow within yourself, whether it's through your modality or another, when you don't have a external safe environment?
hmm Yeah. Yeah.
What what would your advice be, or what would you suggest, or how?
Yeah, I think it's different for every situation, right? But I mean, I grew up in a home where I didn't feel safe. And a lot of it was like physically leaving. And in order to feel safe, like going to a friend's house or something. Um
So doing the work
or
in a different environment.
actually doing the work in a different environment, and then obviously working with a therapist, is helpful too, right? Because then you go to their office, not COVID world, you go to their office, and yeah, and then it's this safe space where you can just be yourself and speak your truth. But that's an interesting point, kind of going on a little tangent. Now that therapy is online,
Yeah,
people have found it really hard to do therapy on Zoom or something because they're at home and they're whatever, people are in the next room, so they don't feel like they're in a safe environment to let go and speak what's really on their mind.
So can
So
we give them tips, ideas as to how they can?
I mean, I think a lot of people um, do a lot of stuff in their car if they have a car, or on a walk.
Yeah,
So
going to be my idea.
yeah,
The park.
so yeah, and yeah, and I think, the first maybe step is like recognizing I don't feel safe right now. How can I feel safe?
Mm.
And it doesn't mean necessarily that you're feeling like physically unsafe, but emotionally, right? Or energetically, kind of like it's this feeling of like I can't actually be 100% myself right now. And um yeah, like going for a walk and calling someone that you feel safe with, or yeah, just going for a walk alone and kind of going through the process of like what's going on with me right now, how am I actually feeling in this moment, can I be really really honest with myself about what's going on within me.
Yeah. And like how I was saying that my suggestion is a park. Sometimes when we're doing this work, we we shine. Do you know what I mean? There's a glow. People, somebody else who is more, who's also in need of that work can recognize when somebody is emitting and glowing a beautiful aura, a beautiful sheen, because they are on this journey and they are self-developing. And therefore, you can attract, magpies, vultures, there's all different terminologies for it. And therefore, doing it in the park sometimes is not always the best thing because I've experienced this, and and therefore sitting at a bus stop or in a train station where you're not going to. It's like it's a public space and it's not necessarily beautiful, pretty, or smells nice, but you're not going to be seen,
Hmm.
and therefore you can actually be raw and be authentic with your earphones in, and nobody recognizes you being there,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just
absolutely.
this
That
layer.
there's Yeah, that there's so much anonymity in being in a big city and being in a big place with people all around you, for sure.
Rather than in an open idyllic park and then having somebody come into your space. And at that time when that happened to me, it was right in the first lockdown, and I had to go, whoa, my eyes were closed and I could feel this
Right.
energy coming up towards me, and I opened my eyes halfway through my meditation and he was already within 2 meters within me, and I
Hmm.
had to go, whoa, stop. So yeah, it's important to sort of make that note, but we wanted to
Yeah.
give you this safe ideas of safe places of where you can do this work.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, because safety is so important to me, now whenever I guide meditation, I'm like, close your eyes if you feel safe to do so.
Mm.
You don't need to close your eyes to meditate. You don't need to close your eyes to look inwards. It helps often because our eyes are so used to taking in everything around us, right? And that we can get very stimulated by looking. But safety is paramount. So if you don't feel safe, I do a walking meditation with my eyes. I have to have my eyes open when I'm walking, but you can look, you can you can look at the trees, you can notice little things that you didn't notice before, you can feel the soles of your feet every step, you can feel the air on your skin, like there are so many ways that you can meditate and be present with yourself and your environment, even if your eyes aren't closed, so that you can still feel safe.
And meditation is something you do quite a lot, isn't it? Like you're
Hmm.
guided one. You're going to be guiding us through meditation during the retreat.
Yeah.
On your own retreats, I've experienced your meditations, and it just took me off to a different place entirely. So I know that's one of the techniques that you use a lot, and you're very, very good at it. Could you just say, besides what you said already, is there other tools that you use when people are working with you one to one, and how they can find you? Whereabouts do you, how does working with you look like?
Yeah. So, one on one, usually I work with women who are trying to conceive. So, other tools that I use are fertility yoga or intuitive movement, um, which I'm going to be talking a little bit about in the retreat as well, because so much of that is listening to your body and where you are in your menstrual cycle, because there's like these expectations on us that we have to be the same every day because men are the same every day. And it's like, no, I feel completely different the week before my period versus the week after my period. I have different energy. I have different talents and skills, even, you know? So really honoring your cycle that way, if you are someone who has a monthly cycle. Um, so that's a lot of the work that I do, that I work with women who are trying to conceive. Is working with your cycle and honoring your cycle. But even if you have a natural cycle and you're not trying to conceive, um, this is something that can really be life changing. So yeah, working with your cycle that way. Yeah, and then
You
movement.
work with both groups together, people that are trying to conceive and people that just would like to experience your technique in feeling fully. Do you work with both groups together, or do you separate them?
I teach, yeah, like kind of different courses, but usually there are people who are trying to conceive like in my more generic programs as well, who may or may not divulge that to the group.
Okay.
Um, yeah, yeah, but yeah, I've kind of got like a safe space for women who are trying to conceive, and then I have groups that are, you know, anyone who wants to work with me.
But it's
And it,
women, is that right? You only work with women?
no, I don't only work with women. I tend to attract women, but no, I don't only work with women. Um, yeah, so.
That's good to know. That's good to know. There are men on their journey, having the world and the world of science recognize that men too have a cycle. It's just that it's not monthly; it's actually daily.
Daily. Hmm.
So it's really, really good that that more men are joining us on this journey.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I would say those are like the other than meditation and the feel fully process, those are kind of the two big tools that I use is the movement and then the working with your cycle, working with how you're different at different times and that's okay.
That
Yeah,
sounds
so you also asked how can people get in touch with me?
bad. Again, don't worry. You want to just like tell us the name of your website? I mean,
Yeah.
all your details is going to be in the prep book that people receive on the retreat anyway. But yeah, please shout out your website address, your Instagram. What's the name of your company?
Cool. So my website is feelfully.ca, which is the Canada ending of websites. And my Instagram is at feelfully.ca as well. So it also has the .ca on it. Yeah, and I have like a free community meditation every Tuesday if people want to join. So there's a Facebook group that you can find through my website or through my Instagram.
And what's your Facebook group called?
It's called the Feel Fully Community.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on for this impromptu conversation. And we look forward to hearing the other two steps of your Feel Fully process on the Rest and Digest virtual retreat and experiencing your wonderful meditations. Thank you very much, Simone. Is there
Yeah,
anything
thank
else
you.
you would like to say before we close this?
Mm, I think my parting message is that you are enough exactly as you are.
And can I add one to that, which is the one that you said before? You don't have to, is it
You don't need to approve of something in order to accept
thank you.
it.
It to my ears, that is. I love when guests come on and give these golden nuggets. So thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay.